Hi everybody. Well, now for something different, I'm actually not shooting a video complaining. Well, I do have some things I want to say, and it's not exactly a complaint. I had somebody actually say, oh, you're complaining in a video that I shot a while back where I was talking about, people not being responsible driving. I'm serious. There's near where I'm sitting. I won't say where I am right now, but I'm near I-275 here in northern Kentucky. Well, the exit that's nearest me on both sides of the interstate, people have issues with getting on and off there. It's not one of Satan's roundabouts or something. It's more like the way that like the westbound traffic lets off and the ramp on to westbound, and then you know like eastbound, the way it's set up over there, it's just the whole hokey pokey kind of thing. Somebody said you're complaining too much on that video. I'm like, well, sweetie, there are people in this area that can't drive for the love of Pete. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to discuss that any further. Well, today is February 17th. I almost said November 17th. That's goddamn heaven. I get my months, days. Well, today is February 17th. Sorry, I've been dealing with the sleepies a little bit, too. Friday, this past Friday was Valentine's Day. I gotta tell you what, Tony and I had a good Valentine's Day, and I hope you all did, too. Well, what happened is Tony and I went to a Mediterranean restaurant over on the north side of Cincinnati, Ohio. And while we're sitting there, oh, sorry, we have this. Like I said, I've got a little bit of sleepy, so please bear with me. We'll try not to yawn through this entire video. But anyway, Tony and I are there, and we're at the restaurant. We went to a Mediterranean restaurant. We're sitting there, and the dude sitting behind me over my left shoulder, dude was talking loud and was basically a blowhard. I mean, I'm like thinking, he's like, well, I'm a doctor. And, he was bashing Ohio. He was bashing Virginia. He was bashing Kentucky. I'm sitting there thinking, and it's like, all I could hear was him yap, 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 the whole time. I mean, that poor woman he was with only talked like a total of 5 minutes out of the whole half an hour that they were sitting there behind me eating. And the guy, excuse me, I'm like thinking, dude, he's like, well, I overslept this morning because I got up at 4 o'clock this morning, fell right back asleep, and I missed out on the surgery. I'm a doctor. And he was like, I'd rather fly with Delta and all this stuff. And I'm like thinking, dude, nobody gives a single shit about you and your opinions. And I said loudly enough for him to hear to Tony. I said, if I was going to go across the country, I'd take a train. Either that or my happy. I said that. And what I wanted to say is, I'd rent a car and I would drive just because, one, it's cheaper. Two, it might take longer. But, excuse me, like I said, I got the sleepies. But two, I wouldn't have to worry about being on an airplane with that jerk. I mean, he just pranced around, I'm like thinking, dude, nobody he's like, yeah, well, I'm right. And I'm like thinking, dude, you're stupid. no, you're not right. You're stupid. You're a blowhard. And, you know, I'll tell you what, guys, let me give you some dating advice. Don't monopolize the conversation, okay? You want to impress a woman, talk to her, but let her talk too. Okay? Because, there's nothing more off putting than for you to hog the whole conversation, okay? It goes the other way too. I realize that. A woman shouldn't hog the whole conversation either. Unless there is some absolutely amazing story that you have to tell that's like really involved, don't hog the conversation. This couple was clearly on like a first or second date. And I'm like, I wasn't impressed. I'm like, dude, I have been married for nearly 20 years. And I want to slap your face. I'm like sitting there thinking, dude, really? I was put off. I was like, it's like, we got ready to leave, and I hustled Tony out of there. He just. And I later explained to Tony, I said, that guy would not STF you. He hogged that entire conversation. He's like, UCLA is the best school in the world. And, he's like, none of this stuff over here. And if you go to UC's hospital, it's a learning school, and it's not all that good. And, he's like bad mouthing, Xavier stuff and St. Elizabeth. I'm like, dude, why are you here if you're going to complain? Go back to wherever it was out there in California that you were living in, and go back there and live, okay, with the fires, okay, or in the flash flooding and the whatnot going on over there. And before you go getting all up in my comments about me saying whatnot, I'm not sure anymore what all is going on out there anymore. It's like fires, floods. Now they've got floods. I find it hilarious. Like hilarious, ironic that they went from crying about we ain't got enough water to they're flooding, and it's like waist deep mud, and they're all complaining about that. I'm like, could you all seriously decide which way you want it? Do you want it dry or do you want it wet? You can't have both. It could either be dry or it could be wet. Which one do you want? Figure it out. But anyway, I look at what's funny, ironic, is Tony and I get outside. We're waiting to get picked up because we Ubered just because Tony's wheelchair is not light. And neither is he, but, that's, what it is. Well, we're waiting for our Uber to show up, and that couple comes out, and I gave that guy the stink eye. I just looked at him. I just went like, I actually made eye contact, looked him right in the face, and didn't say anything, but I just like looked at him like, really? And I looked at the girl, and I said, hi. And I gave her this look of like, I feel sorry for you, lady. I did. I felt bad for her because I'm like, she maybe got like 5 minutes of that entire 35-minute date that they were on that night. And I'm like, I just looked at her. I was like, oh my God, seriously. Tony and I ate in entire silence because, one, it was a noisy restaurant, and Tony can't hear all that well, and two, that guy is like, he was talking so loudly that I'm like, I told Tony, I said, he's look at it and jump up and say, come over to him and say, sir, 2 things. 1, turn it down. Okay, I can hear you at my table. I'm not interested. I'm not going on this date with you, sweetie. I'm married, okay? My husband's sitting right there. And 2, nobody cares, okay? You are a blowhard. because he kept changing his mind on, like, it's like we could put penne, or we could put, you know, Szechuan noodles, or this or that. And I'm like, yeah, you can also shut the hell up. That's what I wanted to say to him. Yeah, you can shut up. Do both of us a favor, be quiet. You know, I mean, it's just. I think the guy noticed the way I was looking at him, and I wasn't amused. I let him know. I'm like, I gave him this look of like, and they walked around the corner, and I said, just a tiny bit too loud. I went, blow hard. You know? Uh, but anyway, I mean, seriously. Guys, if you want to impress a girl, don't be a blowhard. Okay? Just be like, like, don't interview her either, but, don't be like an interviewer either, but, I mean, like, talk to her, like, have banter, like, what do you think about this? And like, just, like, ask each other questions. Like, write down stuff that you're interested in, and, like, think about how you want, like, would ask somebody about that. If they were interested in that, and think about how you would bring that up, but don't hog the conversation. I mean, it was just, I was like, happy Valentine's Day, jerkwad. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the food at the restaurant we ate at. Tony and I went to Artemis Mediterranean Bistro up in Montgomery, Ohio. It's a suburb of Cincinnati over there. It's really good. Believe it or not, it is really good. I got a rose. I've got it here. And I had grilled salmon with a salad and a little bit of rice for dinner. And then Tony had some lamb. And we had, like, I think it was Kafka or Kafkin or something like that as an appetizer. It was like 3 little meat pie kind of things. It was good. And then we drank water because we like our kidneys. Thank you. The food was good. I mean, I definitely would go back there. I mean, I didn't say anything on Yelp about it yet because I was just trying to decide what I wanted to say first. But anyway, I did. I mean, I really enjoyed my salmon, my grilled salmon, and the salad and the rice. Tony enjoyed the lamb thing that he had, and the rice that he had. Anyway, I mean, that was back on Friday. And then, it's a good thing. It's a good thing Valentine's Day was on Friday because this past weekend, I don't know if y'all have heard what the heck's been going on in Kentucky over the weekend. Excuse me. But one, we had like some crazy weather, rain and snow. In fact, 9 people died here in Kentucky over the weekend. And God bless Andy Beshear, our current governor, as I shoot this video. That man, Tony and I absolutely love him. We love our governor. I mean, this man is freaking awesome. Okay, for example, he promptly declared a state of emergency, and President Trump actually approved it and was like all over that like white on rice. He's like, people are dying, and this is, like all of a sudden it was just like bam, it was like Pikeville and Hazard and Harlan and Cadiz and like all these other places are just like, like all heck broke loose. And it just, he got up and talked and said, this is your fellow Kentuckians, and we're working on trying to get this fixed as fast as possible and get people back in their homes and all this stuff. And it's just, excuse me, the sleepies. And he just, Governor Andy Beshear was all over that. I mean, he was on that like a duck on a June bug. I mean, it just rocks. I mean, Governor Bashir is totally awesome. And I would love to have a picture of me with him in my uh, Kentucky Colonel papers. He signed mine, by the way. But anyway, I just wanted to just get on here and say some things. Anyway, there is one thing I did almost forget to mention. I'm going to include a link, if I can find it, for Tony's leg. There's a thing going on with Tony's. I've been yapping about Tony this whole time. I forgot to give you all an update on Tony. Well, the thing is, Tony got his prosthetic leg on Thursday, on the 13th. Guess who might be pulling an Amy Winehouse and going to rehab? Not me. It's Tony. He hopefully will, be able to go to rehab here soon as they work that out. But anyway, I just thought I'd let you all know all that stuff. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.